Hey everybody, I'm Jack Rita, and in this video I'm going to be talking about custom components I've made for Galaxy Trucker, which is one of my favorite games. I have all of the Galaxy Trucker expansions and content, first edition. I don't have the base game for second edition yet, but I probably will pick it up because there are a couple of things in it that are not part of the first edition experience. And there's a lot of content for first edition, but because it's a game that I love and play a lot, I have created a lot of custom components for Galaxy Trucker. So this one, I'm just going to be talking largely about the custom tiles that I've made for the game. I made my own starting tile for purple, because purple is not a player color, but I like purple. So I've got the starting tile. I've got the spaceships that are purple. I even have my own little astronauts that I use for every color's starting tile. That's the flight crew. And I've got something in another one of my custom expansions that refers to the flight crew itself. So it's nice that they have a distinct look. It's easy to pick them out, keep track of it. And I've done that with a lot of the others. I've picked up a lot of extra little guys over the years and have done a number of different things to modify and play around with them. But like I said, we're going to look at tiles. So let's talk about alien tiles. So I've made a red alien life support, and I have red aliens to go with them. And the red aliens, they allow you to connect cargo tiles to this tile here. So you could connect like that. And any cargo tiles that are connected to your red life support allow you to hold hazardous cargo. So normally you can only hold hazardous cargo if you've got the pink tile cargo thing on there, because the regular ones will only hold the non-hazardous, which are the yellow, green, and blue. But again, if you've got a regular cargo connected to your red life support with a red alien on board, because remember, the alien doesn't live in the life support, it needs to live in an attached crew cabin, taking up that space. But if your other tiles are connected to it, they're cargo tiles, and that's the point. You want to connect regular cargo tiles so you can fit more hazardous cargo on your ship. So that's what the red aliens do. I also have green alien life support to go with my green aliens. So what do the green aliens do? Well, components that are connected to the green life support do not need batteries when they're powered. So normally if you've got something like shields or the double cannons, you have to spend a green battery token each time you use it. But for any of those components that are connected directly to the crew quarters, in this case, because these green, they only connect to one thing. So you would connect that to that. But if you had a double cannon connected here, or a double engine, or shields, that tile itself never needs you to spend a battery for it. So that's the benefit of having a green alien on board, is it lets you do that. So you got to think more about that when you connect that tile while you're building. You're now looking for, all right, what is something that needs batteries, green batteries, in order to do that. I also have created a universal life support. So as you can see, it's got all the different colored aliens, the cyan, the brown, the purple, as well as the new ones, the green and the red. So you can have that connected to a crew cabin, and you can put any alien that you want on there. You're still limited to having only one alien of a given type on your ship. One of the new tiles that I have is a security cell. So that is something you can connect, and if you do, you can choose to put a prisoner in there for transport. That's prisoner number 1, and I have 3 of them. So there's 3 of these tiles that you can connect to the ship or to other ships, and each one can have a prisoner. So if you have a prisoner on your ship, you are doing prisoner transport, and as such, you want to avoid any adventure card that has you losing flight days, because if you stop at any of those adventure cards, like a planet, if you stop at a planet, then your prisoner is going to escape, and then that's it. So you'd be doing that if you're like, all right, you know what, I'd rather pick up cargo than deliver this prisoner. But If you don't stop at any of those adventure cards, then you're going to get 10 credits for delivering a prisoner per adventure number. So on your first round, it's number one. It's the number one adventure on your on the the missions. The second round is round 2. That would be 20 credits for delivering it. It's 30 credits if you're doing it in round 3. So again, it's a pretty good trade-off sometimes if you can get all the way to the end of the flight without losing that that tile. Another new tile is the airlock tile. So the way that works is when you hit open space, you can choose to lose flight days to reconnect tokens that have fallen off of your ship. So you've been hit by meteors or cannon blasts, and those tokens you set aside, and you have to pay for them after you get your deductible or whatever that is. Like, oh, you know, the first 3 I don't have to pay for, but after that I'm paying 1 credit per tile. But you can choose to reconnect those, and you're losing 1 flight day per tile that you connect. So if you've lost 5 tiles, you can say, all right, I'm going to lose 5 days so I can put those tiles back on. And you're reattaching them anywhere that you can attach them, which is nice. Now, if you are reattaching a battery thing, you don't just get new batteries and you don't get new crew, but you do have those tiles. So maybe you can reduce your exposed connectors or prevent your ship from splitting in half at some point if you get hit again at a weak point. So that's what the airlock is good for. We also have something called a magnetic connector. So the way this works is you'll notice on your tiles, you've got your connector. So this is a universal connector. This is a single connector. And, you know, if you were connecting this to this, you could say, yeah, I'm going to connect this to universal, or this is a universal, it can connect to a single. But this side right here has no connectors, and you can connect a magnetic connector to that. And then likewise, you could connect another non-connector thing to that. So that's what the magnetic connector lets you do. It lets you connect without using any of the actual connecting pipes. I've got all of my little green battery tokens, but I also have orange battery tokens now. And I figured, oh, I picked those up in another game. And I was like, oh, these are great. They look just like the green ones from Galaxy Trucker. So I created orange batteries. So we've got a little thing that would let you put 2 orange batteries on your ship, and you can use them to, you can spend 1 to power a normal thing that needs a green battery, but they're also orange components. So I've got super shields, and super shields, you spend 1 of the orange super batteries, and it will protect you from a meteor or cannon blast of any size. So now you've got, you know, enhanced shields, which are more useful. You can also use them, spend 1 to fire off a super cannon. Counts as 3 cannons. And of course we have super engines, which count as 3 engines. So that is what you use the super batteries for. I've got a number of these yellow with a little star. These are defective components. So these components, they might fail at some point. And I've got a special cards that will show up in adventure decks called defects. And what happens is you're going to roll the dice. And if you've got defective components on any column or row, then it fails and it comes off, and, you know, whatever, it unleashes havoc. So it's risky for you to use them, but, you know, you might be like, all right, you know, this is a couple of extra cargo, I want to get those. It's hard to get a hold of what else is going on. And again, I play Galaxy Trucker with, you know, sometimes 5 players. I also have something called the Dreadnoughts, which are really big ships that can have up to 75 tokens on them. So we need extra tokens anyway. So the defective tokens fill that gap. I've got a bunch of these special delivery cargo tokens. So this one, it's got a little red tag to let you know this is for special delivery. And it means you're going to start with that color cargo when you start your mission. So you're going to have a green cargo on there. And if you finish the mission with that cargo, with a green cargo cube on that tile, it scores double. So I've got these in all of the colors. So that, and again, you're starting with one. You're delivering something. You've been given this to deliver to the end of the mission. You know, you can still move cubes around anytime you get them. But, you know, if you're starting with one, you know, you're not really, I guess you could lose one to, you know, pirates, the guys who steal your cargo, and then you could pick one up later on and still deliver it. As long as they're getting a green cube at the end, you're going to score double for that. So that's handy. And I've got, these are called smuggler's holds. So that can hold one of any type of cargo plus one crew member. So you can't put two guys on there, but you can have one, and it can be an alien. So, and any crew that's on that tile is immune to things like the slavers who will steal your crew. And yeah, it's the smugglers that steal your cargo. So the pirates just shoot your ship. I have a few of these, what I call build bonus tokens. So they're out there while you're building. And if you get one, you can set it on your, you know, you've got the little space on your build board where you can have 2 tokens during the build that you plan to attach to your ship later on. But they are holding up a slot, so you can only have 2 of those that you are, you know, storing until you attach it. And of course, if you don't ever store them, then you have to pay for them later on. But these are tokens that will take up one of those slots, but they're not anything that's going to be added to your ship. So there's one that once you're done building, if you've got it on there, you're just going to get 5 credits to start off with. Or you're going to be able to move your ship up 2 spaces from wherever you are in the lineup. Or you get 1 extra crew that you can stick in a cabin and have 3 guys in 1 cabin. This one lets you draw a Gear Jammer card, which is a custom deck of cards that give you individual bonuses and effects. And there's one that lets you swap starting positions. So if you ended up with the 3, but you've got the swap position thing, you can be like, you know what, I'm going to be in number 1. Or you'll be like, I'll be number 2. And let somebody else take on the bad guys first, and then we'll see how it goes. And because these tokens they're a little bit shinier than the ones in the base game, it's pretty close. I got a bunch of these little decoy tokens, so that's what they look like on one side, and that's what they look like on the other side. So you're building and you get one, you're like, oh, this doesn't do anything. You put it down, and then somebody else picks it up, or you pick it up again. You're like, it still doesn't do anything. So it just makes the build process a little crazier. The last custom tile that I'm going to show you are the specialist workstation tiles. And I've got a little handy reference. I got a reference for all the other ones as well. So it lets you know, what do all these things do. But the specialist workstations, when you draw one of those, you can attach it to your ship. And they each have a unique little color and a little art showing what's going on there at their workstation. And they let you get these specialist guys. And there's a specialist card for each one of the guys. And I'll cover specialists in more detail in a separate video. But as long as you've got the workstation and you have a VIP cabin, you can add a specialist to your ship. And they give you extra bonuses depending on one. And each one is different. And you can have multiple as long as each one has its own VIP cabin. And I had a bunch of extra VIP cabins made just for this expansion. So I'll give you an example here. Is the purple guy here who's got the purple workstation. That is a chaplain. And whenever anyone rolls a 7, you can gain 5 credits, or you can instead spend 5 credits to roll again. So you kind of have the Lord on your side in some way, or at least that's what these the pilots and the crew members think's going on. But there's a corpsman, there's an engineer, there's a gunner, there's a marine, there's a navigator. There's a bunch of these guys that each have their own unique card, similar to the blue aliens have their own unique cards. And you can have these workstations, and they give you some extra things that you can do on a mission. So that's it for the tiles. I've got a lot of these tiles. There's a ton of them in there. I've got my own box for them that, it's helped to store them. And I've got things broken up because I've got a separate, like I said, I have a separate edition of the base game, but I've taken a lot of the base tiles for that and I've marked them. This is not one of them, but I've marked them with little lines on the sides to know that I need those in games where I have a certain number of extra players. So, or I'm using the Dreadnoughts. I've got those stored separately. They're easy to see in a stack and be like, oh yeah, those all have the little hash marks on them. I keep those stored separately, and I keep these guys stored separately for when I'm going to use those variants in a game. So that's it for this video. There will be several of these Galaxy Trucker videos because I said I have a lot of custom variants for this game, and I love the game a lot. It's a lot of fun. My whole family will play this game. My son has his own full copy of Galaxy Trucker that he takes off to go play with his friends. So let me know, what do you think of the custom tiles? Have you made any custom variants for Galaxy Trucker? Let me know about them. I'm always on the lookout for fun and new stuff to add to the game. And be on the lookout for the other Galaxy Trucker videos if you're a fan of that game. There's going to be more coming. So thanks for watching.